Well, good morning, everybody, and welcome to this session of MFiles Quick Tips, editing a Word document. Let's get started. Okay, in today's session, what I'll be covering is ribbon that you're going to see inside of the Microsoft Word document. I should say program. And then we're going to talk about those ribbon icons that are for MFiles. Take a look at doing version history. And then we'll do a rollback to a previous version. And then we'll take a look at the Marco. Let's get started. Okay, so inside of Microsoft Word, where I am right now, up at the very top, you can see MFiles. And when you click on that, it's going to bring some more information up. So these are the icons that I'm talking about. So the first one at the very far left is open from MFiles. Let's go ahead and do that. So now I'm basically looking inside of MFiles, and if I scroll down, you can see some of the familiar things you're used to: pinned, offline, templates, recently accessed by me. When I double click on that, here's the document I'm looking for. So I'm going to open up the document. So that allows me to open it from MFiles. Now I'm being prompted if I want to check it out. Now I'm going to say read only. I'm going to go back up to my ribbon in MFiles and notice there's a save. Now I'm going to come back to this in just a little bit. Let's take a look at Explore MFiles. This is actually pretty cool. When you click on it, you're basically opening up another window where you're looking inside of the MFiles interface or client. Slick. I'm going to close that window. Now, the next item is checkout. So if I want to make an edit to the document, I have to check out the document. So I'm going to check out the document. Document is now checked out. When I go back to my ribbon, you're going to see that it is grayed out. Now, if we take a look at the next two choices, one is to check in. So if I make changes to the document and I want to save those changes back into MFiles, I check it back in. If I'm working on a very long document, multiple pages, excuse me, and I want people to see the changes as I save them back into the document, I would do check-in changes. Then there's an undo checkout. If I were to do the undo checkout, if I would have made edits to the document, those would be lost by clicking on that. Careful with that. I'm going to click on check in the document. And the screen went blank and it checked the document back in. What I do is I'm going to close my Word. I'm going to open up a document on my desktop. And this happens to be application D as in David. When I open this document up, I'm in Microsoft Word. I'm going to go back to the MFiles ribbon. What I want to talk about now is being able to save directly to MFiles. So when I go to the Save to MFiles, what's going to happen is it's going to open up the metadata card for me to save this document inside of MFiles. Once I typed in the appropriate information, I click on Create. This document will then automatically be checked out. So if I needed to make changes, I can make those changes and check the document back in. Before I do that, let's talk about a few other icons. The compare icon, which we'll be taking a look at in just a moment, allows you to compare one version of the document with another version of the document inside of Info. And you get to pick the version you want to compare against. Then we have insert property and properties. This allows you to build a template inside of Microsoft Word using information from Info. This will be a topic that I'll be covering next month. Check in Mike Conway. Close out of Word. Let's take a look at MFiles. Okay, so I'm now inside of MFiles. Go to Recent. Now, when you're inside of the MFiles program, there's a couple different ways that you can check out a document. You can select your document and right-click on it, and you can check it out. You also have the capability of double-clicking on the document. That will trigger the application to open, and then you'll be prompted if you want to check the document out. I'm going to say that I want to check out the document. Now, a couple telltales happen here as well. I'm going to go back to to MFiles. So as you take a look at my metadata card, a green check mark has been flagged on the document to let you know it's checked out. Also on the metadata card, it lets you know that it's been checked out in the time and the date and who did it. Now, if somebody were to try to access this document that I have checked out, show you a document that is already checked out by somebody else, if I try to access the document, you will see that it has a red circle with a minus. It will tell me who has it checked out. Now, if that person is around the corner, I can quickly go to their desk and ask them to check it in. They're in the very back part of the building, I can right-click on that document and I can actually send out a request for them to check it back in. Pretty slick. Another telltale to let you know that a document is checked out is right up here. If I select that, we can see that I have this document checked out. Let's go back to the actual Word document itself. In the MFiles ribbon, I'm going to select Compare. When I select Compare, I get a couple choices. I want to pick the version, so I'm going to make that selection. Here's the different versions I have. I'm going to go back to version 2. I'm going to click OK. MFiles is going to upload those two versions of the document to the MFiles cloud and give me a comparison. Oh, I know why. I apologize. I want to go back to version number 1. There we go. That's what I was looking for. What you see here is that basically the items with the strike through were removed. The items underlined were added. Now, the colors could be a little bit different when you use the compare feature on your computer. Another cool feature here is up here at the very top, I can step through the changes. It will show me on the document where the changes took place. So very nice, just an even flow to that. Now let's assume that I want to go back to a previous version. Click Close. I'm going to check in my document. I go into MFiles. Now the document I'm looking at is application A. So I'm going to make a selection. I can right-click on the document and I have history available here. I also can go to the metadata card. There's a history icon in the metadata card. I click on that. This brings up the history of the document. Now, I want to go back to version number 1. So I'm going to make that selection. Down at the bottom, I'm going to do a rollback. When I do that, mFiles is going to create another version of that document in case I want to go to undo my undo. Click yes. mFiles created that new version. I click close. Now, the question is, a lot of people ask at this point, how do I know what happened? Great question. So up here in the metadata card is a comment that mFiles automatically added. If we click on that comment, we're going to see that a note that in this case, Marco Demo 1 on this date and time rolled back to version 1. So basically right now, I'm looking at version 3 of the document, which is actually version number 2. What I want to do here is I want to take just a moment and I want to share with you some things that have happened with getting hold of information dealing with mFiles. We've made some changes at Marco. When you visit our Marco website for enterprise content, mFile solution, you're going to see that we've made some changes on the right-hand side web browser for Learn More. When you click on the mFile solution knowledge base, what you will see is there's 2 choices available. You can go into the Marco solution, and now what we've done is we've made it very easy to search through our information by typing in what you're looking for. If you're looking for even more information, have a link to the mFiles Help Center as well that you can click on to get to the mFiles Help Center for even more information. What I want to do at this point is I want to open it up for questions. Do we have any questions at this point?
Yeah, actually, Dave, there are a couple of questions that came in. Again, for others that are on the webinar today, you can use the WebEx chat to send those across, and we would be happy to take the remaining time to answer those. The first question is in regards to the mFiles plugins. The question is, what if there is a program that doesn't have a plugin? How is that user experience, or can they even save that document into mFiles at that time?
Oh, great question. Let me minimize my screen here. I happen to have a document open. It's a notepad. So let me just bring that down here. Okay, so as we can see inside of my my notepad program here, there's no interface for it. What I'm going to do though is I'm going to do a file and do a save as. When I do that, I'm going to look for the drive that are for mFiles. So if I go down here, I see my mFiles. I expand it. This is my vault that I'm working in, the Marco training. Oops. Down there again, Marco training. And now what I'm going to do is I'm going to click save. And I'm going to go over the top of that. Yes. Try that again. Let's save as. There we go. What I was anticipating there is it bringing up the metadata card. So the key there is going into save as, locating the mFiles on your drives, and then going into the appropriate vault. Then what you're able to do is you're able to classify the document. and click on Create. Then when you go inside of mFiles, you'll see the document is there. Now notice it is still checked out. So if I made any changes and did my save, I'm going to close it. Now it's going to ask me to check it back in. Now the document is checked in. Pretty slick. Were there any other questions?
Can more than one person edit a Word document at a given time?
Another great question. Initially, mFiles is set up for when you're doing your editing, only that one person can make edits to the document. If you are working with your Office 365 and you have this set up, it does require some setup. Let me go into the mFiles help here. I'm going to click in mFiles client, press my Alt key, and it brings up help. And what I'm going to do here is I'm going to go to the mFiles user guide. When I do that, it's going to open up my web browser and take me to the mFiles user guide. And what we're looking at here is called co-authoring. I'm going to do a search for that. Here's the information. And you can see that there is some setup that needs to be done behind the scenes so that you can do the co-authoring. Once it is set up correctly, one person would check out the document and publish it to your Office 365 online account, and then the other people would make changes in the cloud. The person that checked it out would download it and check it back in to. Did that answer the question?
It did. Thank you. That is all the questions that I have at this time for you, Dave.
Awesome. Well, I would like to thank everybody for attending today's session. Just a reminder that at the end of this webinar, there will be a survey. Please take a moment and complete that. We'd like to hear from you on what you would like to see as some mFiles quick tips. Our next quick tip will be March 19th, and that will be creating a template inside of mFiles using Microsoft Word. If you scan the QR code on the screen, that will take you to the list of webinars that you can sign up for. I would like to thank everybody for attending today, and everybody have a great day. Bye-bye.